eveneens voor Italië, met nummer 27, Asia Zontone. Van die Czech Republic, with number 17 voor Tsjechië, met nummer 17, Katerina Lanikova. For Great Britain, with number 22, voor Groot-Brittannië met nummer 22, Millie Cousins. Voor België met nummer 25, voor Belgium, with number 25, Fiona Krenner.
Swiss rider pulls off the gold medal. Smith basically collapsing at the line from the effort. It's the biggest moment of his life.
Hello and welcome to the second race on day 3 of the UCI 2023 Cyclo-cross World Championships. Let's take a look at some of the things that's been going on in the area. So we're into our women's under 23, a category where the defending champion Puck Pitsy has moved up, as has Fen van Empel, into the elite women's competition. It's going to leave the door wide open for our riders from last year, and it really did show just how strong the Netherlands riders were, with Puck Pitsy just making the most of that slight mistake. Sharon van Anrooy being edged out into second place in the sprint at Fayetteville. Well, Sharon van Anrooy is back to see if she can turn that stuff into gold on a course that is based in and around the Brownsea Well, which is the long bank that runs north to south through the village of Hoogerheide, and the course is based on the very edge of that, and it runs essentially from the top to the bottom of the course and through the woodland. The riders with 2 pits to exchange bikes if they need mechanical assistance, a number of flyovers and bridges to get the spectators underneath and to give the riders a chance to stretch their legs up and over, the hurdles, planks or barriers on the uphill stretch as you come in towards the technical finish. It's going to be very interesting to see who can keep the speed down here. Our commentators are our race referees, and they will be making sure not only that the riders are safe, but also that they follow all of the rules on the way through, and checking that we award the right winners in the under 23 competition the correct medals. And the weather, as you've seen, very much a dry day. The course is drying very quickly with the wind that is blowing on here, and a packed field of riders with 32 riders from 14 nations represented. As you can see, the riders are just into their last moments of care, so the jackets will be shed as the last minute preparation is completed, and they'll be handed over to their helpers. So Kristina Zemanova, a second and third place in the World Cup, lined up alongside Zoe Baxter, fancied for a medal by many here today. Riding for Great Britain, taking top spot in the under-23 competition, out on one round of the World Cup, 3 second places, up against Marie Schreiber, very fast starter, and 2 wins in the under-23 competition, 4 second places, 2 third places. But can she beat this woman? It's her birthday today, and riders are reputed to go faster on their birthdays. Sharon van Anrooy, silver medalist last year, and one of the big 3 in the elite women's races, still only an under-23. Up against Aline Burkier, an absolutely talented mountain biker with a real pedigree off-road, and been riding strongly on the cross as well. Fourcade aligned on the front row alongside her teammate, and those French riders are going to be buoyed by what's happened so far. Can Leonie Benveld bring it back in for the Netherlands? Benveld with 2 podiums so far this year in the World Cup Series, with Lizzie Gonzalez alongside for the United States. So the riders will go on the lights turning from red to green. You can see that these riders all want to be at the front. We know that this tarmac section, the asphalt, as you run up towards the top corner and turn onto the grass proper, can be very tricky. We've seen incidents on here in a number of the races. Who is going to get the whole shot? Who's going to get around that right-hand turn? The riders' nerves will be absolutely jangling. They know they've got to get a quick start from here. Sharon van Amrooy almost with everything to lose here. The hot favourite, with all the rest of the protagonists looking to take away that title here today. And away they go. The lights turn green. Van Amrooy getting a good start, heading up from the left onto the centre of the roadway there, and you can just see just starting to drop back a little bit here. Nice to drop it into second place, but Mary Schreiber, as we said, taking that fast start off from the gun switch. Schreiber, who's leading out, and actually the rider who we have seen take the Luxembourg national title. Schreiber quickly seeing the riders lining out at the moment as they go round into this first fast right-hand turn. And we got a slide out there, and this is exactly where you want to be, right up at the front of the race, because you could just see Madigan Monroe there just getting caught up in the traffic that built up behind, and then you have a tumble, you have a fall, and you get dropped down. So at the moment, Schreiber, Faulconet, Backstead, Zemanova, Berkier, Van Amrooy, Kral, Zemanova, along with Gonzalez and Zantoni in the top 10. And as they came through, they dropped down here, and it's very fast on this section now. This start, you can see Van Amrooy in the centre. They're going well as she goes up the start here, but you can see that push from Schreiber, just able to keep that drive going. She kicks almost a second kick as she comes up towards that line, and able to push on up at the front here, but clearly a little bit of a move here being made by Anadine Faulconet. Faulconet, 2 third places in the World Cup Series, and sitting 11th in the UCI rankings, just looking to keep control of the race, perhaps a little bit more at the front. Another bit of a logjam there. I think it was Sally McLean-Hall from Great Britain just getting held up as we see Baxter going, taking a wider line in and through. So at the moment, and I'm really keeping her powder dry, not showing herself too much at the front of the race. And as these riders come down into the descent into the lower heath, and as they drop down, we're going to just start to see, I think, a group pull a little bit clear here. Now this descent means you carry plenty of speed into this long sweeping right-hand turn. Plenty of riders clipping the feet of the barriers, really pushing it to the limit. A slight gap, just opening up behind Berkier and Benfeld, who are the 2 French riders who have been set very close to it. They're just going to take a quick check on who we've got, and it certainly looks to me like it's going to be Berkier and Benfeld, then chasing. Benfeld's got Van Amrooy with her. The riders have been working out, trying to see what they're going to do to try and contain Sharon van Amrooy, a rider who in the World Cup standings in our elite riders in the 23 compete with the elite riders, has been one of only 3 elite riders to take victories this season, along with Van Empel and Pizzi. So Van Amrooy very much the hot favourite here today. Looking at all the various predictions across the various podcasts, social media, I don't think anybody really predicted anyone other than Van Amrooy today to take the winnings. I think if so, then Zoe Baxter of Great Britain and Marie Schreiber really were the 2 picks up against that. Most people were looking at who was going into 2nd and 3rd place, but at the moment, Marie Schreiber taking this on at the front. Taking up this climb, then it's Baxter behind, slightly different line on that left-hand side there. You see it's just moving out to the left, trying to just push up. At the moment it's Schreiber with Baxter on her heels, and now you can just see Kick coming in. So we can see Van Amrooy just trying to move up on to the wheels. So Van Amrooy aware of the risk of letting Zoe Baxter and Marie Schreiber go clear. Look how quickly she's got across that gap. She's gone from the riders who are currently in what is it, 4th, 5th and 6th places, and gone straight across to the race leaders. So Backstead looks over her shoulder to see what damage has been done to this group. This is on the way past the 2nd entrance to the pits. The rider's able to go change bikes, not really seeing any action in there other than issues with the occasional puncture which has taken out riders earlier in the weekend, and one or two riders where they have had a slide out and hit the rear gear on the floor. Some few people with a couple of issues. Quick look down there by Baxter at the bike. The tires certainly look like they're as soft as they should be. Generally the riders sort of have gotten the rim out, hit the rim through the tyre onto the floor at least once or twice on the way around, searching to keep the right balance between grip and pace. Now Van Anrooij moving up the crowd here, cheering. They expect to see a battle, at least in the initial stages. Now Backstead chases onto the wheel. They go up over that smaller bridge of the bridges on site onto the triple bridge. Backstead moving across to that wider line, and we're just going off that well-rolled line. Just takes a slightly tighter inside line, going and risking going off the main race line where it's been rolled down. That's generally the best line round there. It's the one that's evolved over the days of training, the practice, and the competition here on site at Hoogerheide. The race lead all together at the moment. So Van Anrooij, Backstead, Schreiber leading through, Berkey, Zemanova, Fouquenet behind. Then it's Benveld, Santoni, Kral and Hadikova. We round out the top 10 at the moment. Time gaps on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. The riders are now making their way onto the climb up at the end of the course. There's an uphill, a long, draggy uphill that goes into these barriers. Very difficult to take the bunny hop option on this all the time now. Van Anrooij very quickly kicking out there, trying to look to make a little bit of a gap. It's one of those key attack points, and we can start to put distance into everybody else. Backstead responding to this, chasing hard, takes a look over her shoulder. Wants to see who is still left with her. It was a group of 6, and it's Fouquenet who's starting to drop off the pace a little here. So Van Anrooij and Backstead just starting to gap Marie Schreiber. Schreiber just being distanced a little. Backstead pushes up on the right-hand side there. Just trying to keep the pressure onto Van Anrooij. As you can see, Aline Berkier just pushing up the right-hand side as well, just looking to keep the pressure on the riders in front, see if they can just elicit a little bit of a mistake from them. So the two leaders down onto the top, and they're now hitting that start-finish straight. Behind, you can see the chasing group of 3. So Van Anrooij on her birthday is going to lead the 2 up towards the line. Backstead, I think, is doing the right thing here, sitting on her wheel. And you've got a whole favourite like Van Anrooij. Definitely going to be the case. They're going to be trying to make her do as much work as possible, but Backstead's an experienced rider. One of our younger riders in the group, in the pack, but very experienced road rider, crit rider. And lucky enough to watch her racing. She's grown up in the UK, and I have to say, she's always fancied being one of the fast riders. A little bit crazy, lots of fun out on the bike, enjoys the cycling scene, but I'll tell you something, incredibly talented and some great genetics as well, which doesn't go amiss when you're up racing against the best in the world. So it is Shirin Van Anrooij and Zoe Backstead leading through. Schreiber coming through 8 seconds down, 17 seconds back to Fouquenet, who leads through the group in 6th place, 7th and 8th. Benveld, Duraforge, followed by Krauls and Tony, and then Hadlikova. And then Lizzie Gonzalez currently in 12th position at the moment, 37 seconds down, just ahead of Mirek Narvan and Bara Jabakova. Kicking out of the saddle there, just putting the pressure on. Backstead just shadowing him as he comes down and in. A little bit of a pause there as they came in on slightly different lines. Backstead losing only a couple of wheel lengths there, but it could be enough. She's got to chase it. Each time she has to push on those pedals and try and chase down Van Anrooij. It gives the opportunity to Van Anrooij to just open that gap a little bit more and make Baxter work. Baxter having to carry as much pace onto the wheels of Van Anrooij as possible. So into this descent, you can see from this angle just how fast this is. As the riders come down, they sweep round the sides and Baxter their foot out. A little bit of a mistake, I think, coming round that long right-hand turn there. Just got to get clipped back in again really quickly, keep the control. Oh, big mistake coming down there. Massive slide out, and that's a really fast section, of course. Oh, just seeing Lynn Berkier pick herself back up again. That has got to hurt, hitting the floor at that speed. Down and just hits that, braking, and you can just see how soft that sand is. Oh, picks that bike back up again, but you can see the distance that has gone down and going down on that side. And it also runs the risk of damaging that bike because you have all the gear mechanisms on that right hand side. That was a solid thump down onto the floor. See, shaken but not showing any immediate signs of having major damage to the bike or herself, thank goodness. So going to see what Berkier can do. That's dropped her down into 5th position. He is going to need to do a little bit of chasing. 6 seconds down on Zemanova at the moment. So Marisha and Kristina Zemanova, the Luxembourg and the Czech Republic riders currently in the fight for 3rd and 4th place. Berkier in 5th. Then it is going to be Fontenay in 6th place. 7th place at the moment, Leonie Benfeld. 8th place is Dora Forge with Kral in 9th position. Up at the front of the race, though, Sharon Van Anrooij continuing to put the pressure onto this big long climb. Baxter zigzagging away across there. The wind not going to be blowing her across. She needs to stay focused on holding that line really on the limit there as she goes up. But Van Anrooij now stretches her legs out, starts to open up the gap. She's going to go down around these turns. She's not all that far from pit number 2. She's got still a little bit more climbing to do. Look at Baxter, she absolutely in danger of smiling away around this course, clearly loving the racing, but she's got to try and close down on Van Anrooij. So these two riders are with a gap now of what is 19 seconds, in fact, to the chasing riders. So Sharon Van Anrooij to Marie Schreiber, who's on your front of your screens on the front of that duo, is 19 seconds. And the gap 13 seconds coming through now. Berkier goes in, changes that bike, and no surprises there really after that massive tumble. And even if nothing was apparent straight away, a very wise move, because if something has been damaged, it may not show itself up straight away. Slightest crack or fracture may just put something under pressure, and it may well let go later in the race. The riders choosing to change bikes, sometimes preemptively preventing problems, which is a very wise move. Didn't lose too much time doing that either. The race leader, Sharon Van Anrooij, really winding this up. Baxter out of the saddle coming out of that corner. She's chasing hard here. Carrying so much speed around here. This course really drying out as the wind blows. The riders rolling over the ground and really pushing onwards. You just see the French team just hopping across. They're going to be shouting time checks back to their team as they come around. Schreiber goes up around the side of that VIP with Zemanova sat on her heels. Zemanova with a 2nd and 3rd place in the World Cup, 2 podiums. No strangers standing up on the stage at the end of the race. Sharon Van Anrooij really the rider to be all season in the under-23 competition, showing just why she's been such a force to be reckoned with. She could have moved up to the elite. She could have chosen to do that and not ride in the under-23 competition. And Pizzi choosing to move up, and it is one way only. There is no U-turns. You can't go back down again once you've taken that step to move up. In cycling, it is a one-way street, and And that is one of the reasons why the riders think long and hard about it. Sharon Van Anrooy looking to take away the rainbow jersey, silver medal last year in 2022 in Fayetteville. That would have desperately loved to take away the jersey. Probably if she'd have taken that jersey and taken the win last year, we wouldn't be seeing her racing in the under 23 this year. But definitely unfinished business for the Dutch woman, who has the drop down onto the tarmac to do, and then we're going to see what that time gap is. So we just see Backstead is fighting absolutely tooth and nail to try and stay in touch. Right, for third and fourth place, well, still Schreiber leading Zemanova round at the moment. Look at the crowds at the side of the course here in Hoogerheide are watching Sharon Van Anrooy making her way up past the finishing line. Backstead is chasing, getting lots of support as well. That's a very popular rider with the crowds as well. You can tell where the big favourites are around the course in the practice sessions, because you could hear the cheer, you could hear the noise from the spectators as one of the big favourites came round. When Sharon Van Anrooy was out on course practicing, you could hear the wave of noise as people were supporting and shouting, and everybody making the way down to the side of the course, coming out of the beer tents, out the party tents, out the VIP, put down that champagne chunk to the side of the course to watch these riders coming through. So at the end of lap 2, Sharon Van Anrooy with a 6-second gap to Zoe Backstead, Zemanova and Schreiber both at 32 seconds, 7 seconds further back to Berkier, who's extended her lead back over Foucault once again, and that now at what I said, 8-second gap with Leonie Benveld of the Netherlands, Reine Durafoch of France also moving up inside 1 minute of our race leader, and it's Judith Kroll and Browse behind as well. Julie Browse, the rider currently in 10th place. Monica Monroe at the moment in 11th position. Last time check showing her at 1 minute 17, but in a real battle with Asia Zontoni of Italy and Lizzie Gonzalez. So Gonzalez in 13th position at the last check through our time checks. So Backstead currently at 8 seconds on Sharon Van Anrooy. Just watching Zoe taking this turn. Goes on the tighter inside line. She had been pushed out slightly wider on previous runs through that section. Sharon Van Anrooy dropping down. This is where we saw that mistake by Lillian Berkier, just not quite getting that section right. So here we go, Sharon Van Anrooy on the lower slopes, on that lower section, being chased by the second place rider. It's Zoe Backstead from Great Britain, making her way along those same lower slopes, a little bit further behind, 8 seconds down at the moment, and Van Anrooy's race to lose at this stage. This should be a race-winning move. There's no reason for her to be caught back. She knows that she should have the beating of the rider from Great Britain, but you can see Backstead out of the saddle is not going to give up. She will race herself into a box to get back onto the wheels there, and she knows that it is cyclocross. This is not riding around on your average velodrome down a smooth piece of tarmac. Anything can happen. We've seen that time and time again. We have seen punctures for some of the big race favourites in the earlier races take people out of contention, and it only takes a puncture at the wrong time when the course is as dry as it is for the riders to have a very long and slow run back to the pit to change bikes. When the terrain is like this, but it's really muddy, there's a lot of running in the course, and less of a penalty if you do have a problem with the bike. But today, it's all about not making a mistake, keeping the pace as high as you dare, pushing it to the limit on the corners, and really using these big climbs in the sections where you can get that power down to make a gap.
9 seconds, the lead now for Chivano.
So Van Roy out of the saddle on that last little section of the steep part of the climb, dropping back into the saddle rather than changing down again, rather than using again, just using her body weight to turn the pedals around. So Baxter staying seated, a multi-time champion. Baxter in pursuit of Van Roy, but that gap, all right, still holding it at about 8 seconds. She's not losing too much ground behind. Looks like Murray Schreiber and Zemanova, just a little bit of a change in those. Zemanova now moving up ahead of Schreiber. Schreiber just dropping back once again by the look of those time checks. Hopefully, yeah, we'll be taking a little bit of a look back, but the front of the race is Van Amroy with that gap now coming into this left-hand turn. You can see almost braking bumps developing in that rut as they come down and through. As the riders sort of drop in, you see that bike bouncing about as they go in through. Baxter takes a slightly wider line, just coming to the outside of the rut. Just keeps a little bit more traction there. Then it's Zemanova now. Zemanova, this will be her best ride of the season if she can push herself right with her. She has been second and third place in a World Cup on the World Cup series that's been out and around the 14 rounds from Waterloo in the States right the way through to Bissau. Now bike change for Schreiber. In she comes. So Schreiber now being past, and you can just see she's now going to have to chase the French riders in front of Berquier, leading the two riders. So it's Berquier followed by Fauconnet. Then it is going to be Schreiber dropping down here. Unfortunately not going with that initial kick on the front of the race, and Berquier going with the leading group until she hit the deck really hard. I think that is taking its toll on Lee Berquier. And Roy very quickly up over the planks, over the hurdles, and Remus clips back into those pedals and quickly at speed. So this section, of course, once upon a time was a run. In fact, before that, this was a dual carriageway, a bypass around the town of Hoogerheide, and that bypass, and in fact, the bridge being taken down. The bridge used to span across from where we're seeing Van Amroy drop down across the side, all the way back up to where the finish is. But being taken out and being replaced, the whole of the town being made more cycling friendly, and being put to good use by the Grand Prix André van der Poel, which is the race that is held here year in, year out. The very first Grand Prix André van der Poel back in 1988. The very first women's race was in 2002. And it's got a real rich list of winners. It's been used twice for World Championships before, in 2009 and in 2014. Women's under 23 competition. Certainly looking like Van Amroy is the rider potentially who could lose this. The under 23 women's competition not coming into Hoogerheide before as part of the World Championships. It's a race that kicked off. The very first winner was Evie Richards, who won it in 2016. And he was taken in 2017 with Evie Richards repeating that in 2018. Inge van Heiden in 2019, Marianne Nova-Ribeiro in 2020, Fan van Empel in 2021, and Puck Pizzi last year. Van Amroy at the moment in the driving seat, but Baxter still holding 8 seconds. It's not on timing screens, it's stuck. That is the gap. It is not being extended. Van Amroy is putting in plenty of effort here, and Baxter surely is going to be taking heart from the fact that the gap has not really extended out here. Now, third place, it is going to be Zemanova, who is holding that behind. We saw Murray Schreiber have to go in and change the bike. No bike change, though, for Baxter as he comes past the pit this time round. So Baxter really finding a new home. Had moved in to the EF team, and the big team bus parked up in the centre square down in the middle of Hoogerheide, looking after Baxted and a lot of the Great Britain team riders. So just seeing Leonie Benfeld go in over the line there, and the riders who expect to be a little bit closer to the front of affairs. Now drag dropping in behind Sharon Van Amroy. And that gap just opening up a little bit further back behind. You can see Van Amroy really just stamping down on those pedals just to kick over the very top, the crest of that rise. Now into this fast second, using the side almost as a burn to carry that speed round, dropping in to the lower field down that field boundary edge. And using the full width of the course, keeping that speed and pace. Cyclo-cross course is designed by the organisers to try and break up the pace and momentum of the riders, to give them rest. The handbook actually describes it as making moments of pause and making moments of speed, and that's exactly what the course designers are looking for. They're looking to break that rhythm, to force the riders out of the saddle, to make them kick, make them attack, get them off the bike, back on the bike, to test them out. And this course in the rain is an absolute quagmire in those lower fields. However, today and all the way through the weekend, it really has been drying out. If it does rain, and at the moment the clouds, although they're looking a little bit grey overhead, don't look like they're going to drop anything down. It does get greasy very quickly, but these riders definitely enjoying some very fast conditions as we run in the penultimate race in this championship, the 3 days here in Hoogerheide. So on lap 4 of 6, Sharon Van Amroy has held at 8 seconds by Zoe Baxted for a long time, but the gap is now going out. It's at 13 seconds. Baxted still holding that silver medal position. She's got a good margin back to Kristina Zemanova. Zemanova, 49 seconds down on the race leader at the last time check. And that means it's about 36 seconds between Baxted and Zemanova as they are out on course. So Van Amroy now climbing up the steep bank here, up this side, the longest climb you can see, gaining height. And still out of the saddle, kicking once again. You can just see the white helmet of Zoe Baxted just appearing over the rise behind. And Baxted now giving ground to Van Amroy. The time check, they're showing 12 seconds. Zemanova still inside 1 minute, but then a real battle for 4th, 5th and 6th places with the 2 French riders. That's Burkier and Falconet in a fight with Marie Schreiber for the positions there inside that top 10. Behind them, Leonie Benfeld in what is 7th place, Caroline 8th and Dora Forsch in 9th, Brouwers in 10th. And it's going to be Madigan Monroe in 11th, and Lizzie Gonzalez in 12th, Iris Sofferin in 13th, Miriam Knowden in 14th. So Zemanova now onto that same rise, or where we saw the gap that opened up between Van Amroy and Zoe Baxted. Staying focused, not wanting to lose any ground. Van Amroy with this already down, heading over to a final traverse of the bridges this lap. Impressive structure down there, so incredibly solid. And it's incredibly high as well, actually, when you walk underneath it. It's certainly something that when you see the riders going up and hitting it at pace, it is tough stuff. Walked over that earlier on, and it takes a long time to get over. You certainly wouldn't want to be trying to do that if you're having to come back from a mechanical, but no problems for Van Amroy rolling over the top there. Got to stay focused on home ground on her birthday with all of this home support here. She can't afford to relax. If you make a mistake, if you lose focus, it won't be long before you've got a rider like Zoe Baxter boring down on you. 18 seconds is the gap. A good size slide would take you into the barriers, and you can't afford that. And of course, if you have a mechanical, then you've got a long run back into that pit area. So Van Amroy, 18 seconds on Baxted, but now on to the climb. As is classic with all the camera shots, it absolutely flattens this out. This is a long, draggy climb up here in the uphill section. You can see Van Anrooy continues to kick, going to take the right-hand turn. So crosses the roadway up onto the bank and up onto the top of where the old dual carriageway ran. So Backstead still a measured remount there, no frantic efforts to get clipped back in again to chase and waste effort and make a mistake there, just keeping it considered. She knows that she's got a good margin at third place, and at the moment not going to close down by making mistakes, that's for sure, on this rider. But Van Anrooy at the moment looking absolutely like she's got this 100% under control. Coming around towards the end of lap number 4 into this traverse, and previously this traverse has been a little bit longer, done a little bit more traversing. I was talking with Jeremy Powers yesterday about this section of the course, and we were both saying we really would love for this to be a little bit longer, that traverse, and increase the risk level on there, which maybe with the drying weather might well have changed the fate of some of the riders. But Andrew van der Poel doing a great job here with all of the local club, getting the racing rolling, and that is lap number 4. So here we go. Van Anrooy comes up on to the level section to take that right hand turn. As we see Zoe Backstead, she takes a look across. That gap still holding at 18 seconds from Sharon Van Anrooy to Zoe Backstead. So Van Anrooy putting in a little bit on the first half of that lap, but not gaining much ground on the second part of the lap going through. On the finishing strip, being treated to a real masterclass by Sharon Van Anrooy, being chased by Zoe Backstead, then Christina Zemanova. She came over the line that time around, coming in and through. We're just going to get a time check, but looking like it's going to be well over the minute mark now. So 1 minute into 7 over 1:24 to Marie Schreiber. And the French battle swinging at the moment in the favour of Fourcade ahead of Berquier. So Amandine Fourcade currently 1:28 down on our race leader, Berquier 1:32. And our drone cam following Zoe Backstead through here, taking a long wide line round there, picking up speed as she gets out of the saddle. This left-hand turn goes wide quite early there. Keeps clipped in, no need to stabilise. Some of the races yesterday we've seen riders all the way around, those carrying pace and speeding, but having to keep the bike stabilised, having to put the foot down just to kick the bike back up again. So Backstead down on that fast line over the drop-off, drops down. Problems at all, takes the right-hand sweeping bend here in front of the spectators, starts to head in along the edge of the field, but up into the trees goes Van Anrooy. So Backstead climbing up into the trees, the temperature just starting to lift here, onside the sun coming out, and although it is February in the Netherlands and it can be cold and wet today, the sun shining, the temperature lifting when that sun comes out. And the riders experiencing an increasingly drying track. A lot of these riders have been practicing in pretty much all conditions over the course of the weekend. We've had some really dry conditions for the very first race of the weekend. That was our relay. We then had conditions deteriorating yesterday as we moved through the women's junior race into the men's under 23 when it was its most slippery, and it started to dry out for the women's elite race. This morning it's been much drier and continues to dry in this really stiff breeze that's blowing these leaves up the hillside in front of Shirin van Amrooy here. There's not much moving faster than Van Amrooy on side. Those leaves just about managing it with the breeze that's just picking back up again now. And this can often be a precursor to the rain coming down. I think today there's nothing looking like it's on the skyline here. So at the moment, Van Amrooy just needs to concentrate on keeping it rubber side down, making sure that she keeps that pace smooth, doesn't put herself into the red. If you push that heart rate too high, goes into that red zone, she's got to do some recovery. She's got a bit of a target. Now a bike change on the way through. There's no sign of any particular need. That could well just be a move to keep safe on the way through. It may be that with the drying conditions, she's looking for something with a little bit more pace in there. The gap 23 seconds before she went into that pit area. Let's see what it is in the time check when she comes out. Again, wide line going around there. Well, Van Amrooy didn't lose any time whatsoever. In fact, she's opened up an increasing gap. She's at 31 seconds now. So Van Amrooy really kicking out quick from that pit area on that take of the bike. Continuing to open the gap to Kristina Zemanova. Zemanova finishing the elite series in 25th position overall, but that meant that in terms of the under 23, she was the 6th placed under 23 in the women's race competition across all of those World Cups, across all 14 rounds. Tracking around the lower section of the course, past the VIP up onto this a little bit of a climb. Quickly kicks out the saddle once again. See just how busy it is down on the barriers. Right, the course-side spectators up onto the banking to get a better view, to be able to see over the heads of people here on the course, fighting their way through the vegetation just to get up and get a view of our riders. And seeing Shirin van Amrooy at the moment looking like she's got this absolutely under control. Almost looking smoother that time up the bank than she did the preceding lap when she went a little bit sideways. Takes a look across to see where Backstead is. 28 seconds currently the gap, so the top three riders really have stabilised with Shirin van Amrooy in 1, Zoe Backstead in 2, Kristina Zemanova in 3. There is going to be Marie Schreiber in 4, Amandine Fouquenet in 5, Aline Berkier in 6, with Leonie Benfeld in 7, Judith Crow in 8th, Laura Darafage in 9th, and Julie Bowers in 10th, and Madigan Monroe in 11th position, just going clear of Iris Offren and Lizzie Gonzalez. To go before she can start having that birthday cake to celebrate her birthday. Will she be doing it in a rainbow jersey? She's looking good as she comes up past our commentary box here. Absolutely rocketing up here and going on, I think, just as fast as she was when she set off from the start line. So out she goes. One more lap left to go here. Here comes second place. It's Backstead. That was a smart from so yet again. She goes getting the support from the crowd. It is 1 lap to go. The riders all come to as they're racing. It's just so loud out there with the volume of people here. It's so much noise. The cowbells ringing, the horns blowing, the air sirens going. It is absolute cacophony if you make your way out and round. If you can get past everybody and get anywhere near the side of the course out there. And Van Amelroy looking very good at the moment. She comes round. Clearly enjoying this. She's got it down. She knows where she's going. She's got the pace of it measured now. She's got to just be very careful on this last lap, because of course if she does make a mistake, while she might feel that she's strong enough to come back from it, time would be up against her. The same is true though of Zoe Baxter. Again, no mistakes needed at this stage. It's not like a lot of time to get back up to where you were and then continue onwards. Just left foot out, just making sure that she's not going to go hit the deck on the way around there, out of the saddle, just kicking back down again, using all that body weight to power that gear round. Quickly up to pace, and the camera just behind here, left foot, a little bit of a slide there I think on there, just maybe not as controlled as she has been, but sometimes that is the case, that when the riders start to relax a little bit, they just start to lose that little bit of focus, and that is when you can make mistakes. Maybe that will be a warning to her to just keep that focus, not think about the crowd, not think about the noise that they're making, and stay on the bike. Make sure she keeps this and brings it home. There'll be plenty of time to have to celebrate and to enjoy this. And the crowd's certainly enjoying it as she comes around these sweeping bends and coming back in towards the woods once again. Carrying so much speed up that steep section, climbs to sweeping round up all the way up almost to that grass bank to her right hand side. Stays on that racing line on this descent down in towards the first descent this lap of the triple bridge. Down past VIP, she goes absolutely packed on the railings there. There's not a soul inside. Munching on the canopies, they're all out watching a Dutch rider come through here in Hoogerheide in the Netherlands. And looking like it's going to be a win. We're just looking to see if we can see Baxter in the distance. The gap the last time we saw was 30 seconds. You can just see how much gap there is. So here comes Zoe Baxter just dropping down off the bridge as we see Van Amelroy ascending the opposite direction. And that gap, in fact, now continuing to go out 33 seconds. Baxter has got a good margin back. Christine 7 over 118 down on the race leader. Baxter to 33 seconds down on your race leader, who's on your screens at the moment. Some great battles a little bit further down through the race fields as they make their way in and around. There'll be lots of riders discussing just how fast it is out on the course today, just how tricky it was to push right to the limit, knowing that the faster you go, the more that a mistake will cost you, because it's higher consequences. Faster you crash, the more likely it is to do you some damage. And yeah, so that with Lena Berkier being taken out the front of the race, right in that battle for third and fourth place, dropping down, recovering a little bit, currently sitting in 6th position. Have the privilege to watch and commentate on Shirin Van Amelroy throughout the course of the season, and always looks as if she's absolutely loving the racing. I'll tell you something today, this is the way to go, win a world title, to go out on the race, go in as favourite with all of that pressure on your birthday. You go out and you ride clear. You've got to solo your way around in your home nation to take away a win, a race that you've taken 2nd place at in the preceding year. That's going to round off an absolutely amazing year for Shirin Van Amelroy as she goes over towards VIP. She's going to go over this big triple bridge for the last time. see that crowd all cheering on Van Emmeroy. They know when they've seen a rider on top form, and maybe the that adage of being on top form on your birthday is certainly going to come true today. The gap continuing to extend, 35 seconds to second place at the moment. Backstead not coming back, not dropping too much time. She's got a decent margin to 7 over, so I think those 3 positions, barring a major incident, should be where we're going to finish. Backstead on her way out from the triple bridges, heading into the last sections of the course, heading out into that last third of the course. Here she comes. Watch her and keep it focused now. Don't lose focus. Don't think about just how much noise this crowd are going to make when you come into the finish. Very popular rider. She's out signing autographs, chatting with the kids out at the start. She's been out and around the village pretty much all the way through the weekend. Not hesitating to talk to people out there and really encourage people to stand at the side of the barriers, chatting with some of the youngsters, asking them about their riding. And do you know something? I think they're all going to take the roofs off the houses and off the blocks of flats that overlook the side of the course here. So up the stairway to heaven, as it's known here in Hoogerheide, goes Shirin Van Emmeroy for the last time. And look at the applause coming from all of our fantastic volunteers out and around the course here, all of our local riders cheering on Van Emmeroy, who's beaming from ear to ear. And now comes the noise. I can hear her coming from outside the box. Never mind having it on my ears. It's going to be a roll through on Triumph. Here she comes. She's going to get high fives at the side of the crowd on the way in. What a ride. Absolutely superb. The race favourite confirms that victory. Arms aloft. Happy birthday, your world champion. It is the one and only Shirin Van Emmeroy. What a ride. What a way to round off the day for her. And the Netherlands team are going to be over the moon with that. It's one thing to come into a race as favourite, but to translate that into victory, that takes a cool head. It's a great ride here by Tony Backstead. I think she's going to know that was the best she was going to get from today. She, thanks to the spectators, she goes through, stops that watch going in and through. Zoe Backstead second today. It's going to be a silver medal for the rider from Great Britain. So the congratulations going out to Zoe, taking away second place in the race today. And I think you're going to see a very pleased Kristina Semenova of the Czech Republic when she hits that tarmac and makes her way up on to the finishing line and over the line. So here she comes. It is a third place. More high fives from the crowd. Look over. You've gone and done it. It's a bronze medal at the World Championships. She makes her way through now and allows herself to take it in. And as she comes up past the commentary box, and just see that Semenova just trying to wipe the tears from her eyes as she comes in and through. It's going to be a fourth place here today. Just missing out on the medal will be Amadine Fauconnet of France. She comes in through. Good race by her, really calm, really smoothly making her way around that course and not panicking. Mary Schreiber, after that initial very quick start, having to go into do a bike change, cost her dear, and able to capitalise on the quick start to take away a win. Lovely heel first to our next finisher, because it is Leen Berkier who had that high-speed crash on the fast descent down out from the woods into the lower heath, into the lower hider here. So Berkier taking 6th place, Schreiber 5th, Foucault 4th, and then it's going to be Semenova in 3rd place. So Baxter taking 2nd, Shirin van Anrooy taking top spot. Our next finisher could be Leonie Benfeld. Benfeld not to be on a podium today, but she'll be pleased that the team are going to take away a win in the category. And then it's going to be Judith Krell making her way in towards the finishing line here today. Another good ride by the German rider. She's going to come through to take 8th place. Then it is going to be Lorraine Duraforge. Duraforge coming through for 9th place inside that top 10. So the rider who finished 17th in the World Series up there, and you can just see, I think that's an inconsolable Mary Schreiber. One of the riders expected to be up into the top 3. Behind, you can see our next rider through is going to be Julia Brouwers. Brouwers going to come through for Belgium in the top 10, just ahead of the riders from the States. So it is going to be a good finish for Maddie Madigan, coming in over the line in 11th place. So Shirin van Anrooy takes away the win. She is our new world champion. She had the pressure heaped on her shoulders, but it was always going to be a special day whether she took the championship or not. Let's hear what she's got to say. She's down beyond the finish now.
First of all, happy birthday. I mean, you've just won here the women's under-23 UCI world title in front of a home crowd. It doesn't get much better than this, does it?
No, it was perfect. And you can't really describe it, I think, how it felt, but it was just, there was so much pressure, just also from myself to win here, and I had the feeling that I could only lose this race, and then it just all went really well and perfect. So yeah, I'm just super happy.
And I mean, going into today's race, you were maybe a bit undecided before about whether to stay in under-23 or go up to elite. Are you pleased about the decision you took?
Yeah, of course, I'm super happy. And yesterday you also saw that Fem was just super strong. I felt really good today, but then also at the moment when I decided to race under 23, I knew I really had to win this race. So there was just so much extra pressure, but I'm just really happy that I could deal with the pressure today.
What will you do for the birthday celebrations this evening?
Tonight we go out for dinner, and then we'll go and party, probably in Antwerp.
Enjoy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's going to be some party. Fantastic ride by Shirin van Anrooy, who had the fastest lap of the day, the fastest rider on the fastest lap from Shirin. So from that race start, you can see quick kick off from the line. The riders are really wanting to get out and away without getting into trouble. Schreiber leading them up on to the course, taking the turn, just having to score a little bit of speed up. Good ride straight away onto the wheels, and Foucault looking like she wanted to be in the mix. You can see that Baxter into the fight and up to the front of the race, but it wasn't long before Shirin van Anrooy decided that she wanted that front spot. As came into those hurdles for the first time. Group of 6 riders pulling clear. Lean Berkier joining in along with Zamanova. However, as they came over the hurdles and into the drop downs, 2 riders pulling clear, with Van Anrooy putting the pressure on. Baxter able to go with her initially, but inch by inch, pedal stroke by pedal stroke, Shirin van Anrooy opened that gap up. She came in as firm favourite, with Baxter passing to be in the medals, but Van Anrooy didn't put a stud run on those tyres. Just absolutely flying behind Zoe Baxter. Continues to open the gap to the 3rd place rider, which having shed the 2 French riders and the Luxembourg rider, it was the Czech Republic's Kristina Zemanova, who had moved smoothly into that 3rd position, and again opening the gap on the riders behind. But there was no stopping Shirin van Anrooy to the support of the crowd. Van Anrooy continued to kick, continued to put time in to the riders chasing. The gap opened all the way to the line, and it was a birthday win for Shirin van Anrooy. So Baxter taking 2nd place, and very pleased Kristina Zemanova on the way in and through. What a cracking ride on the way through. So a great riding by our riders out on the course in what is a fast drying course. The riders in the race still coming in and through the line. The top 10 in front of you here today, with Van Anrooy taking victory by 33 seconds from Zoe Backstead, with Kristina Zemanova on the podium in third place. Falconet with a good ride there, really cool head on the way through. Lizzie Gonzalez putting in a ride that took it into 15th place on the way through. Malika's in 12th. Just taking a look down there, so Tony coming in 17th, Kopecky in 18th place. And Poland with Marlena coming in just behind. Olivia Ernesti, again another French rider packing in to the top of the field. And good riding on the way around, with two riders just finishing one lap down on our race leader, then two riders behind. On 2 laps down, the riders are being moved out of the way to allow clear passage for our race winners. So the full results will be confirmed by our race referees, our commissaire team, and then they will be published as the final result. Our riders, of course, will also be up on the podium, up onto the stage to receive their medals. And in the case of Shirin Van Anrooy, a very, very well earned jersey, the rainbow jersey, as the winner of the World Championships. Very fast course, great racing, and an incredible crowd packing out here today. If you can see over the bobble hats and the multitude of different coloured jerseys out there, everything from the Wessex Wallis right the way through to the Swiss out here. We've got dinosaurs out on course. We've got the crowd dressed in pretty much anything and everything that you can think of out there. Well, it's an absolutely fantastic crowd, and they have seen some great racing, some incredible bike handling at very, very fast speeds out and around the course here in Hoogerheide. So here's a little look back at that move being made by Shirin Van Anrooy. Just goes off the racing line, goes up to the left-hand side of Zoe Backstead. Backstead must have known that was coming at some point. Well, it came. Could she do anything about it? And the answer was no. Shirin Van Anrooy just powering away clear of Zoe Backstead. Backstead giving it absolutely everything to chase that race leader. Van Anrooy still continued to push all the way around the race, making sure that she had enough grip to go in the right direction, get the power down at the end of the race. It was high fives all the way around, and a clearly overjoyed Shirin Van Anrooy, who put her arms in the air to take that race victory. Well, the popular rider from the Netherlands will be indeed out partying to celebrate her birthday and that win in the World Championships. A silver medal from last year turned into a gold medal this year. So the crowd now await the podium ceremonies for the women's under-23 competition, and then we'll be moving into our final race of the weekend. 7 races in total contested, starting off with our team relay on Friday, moving through the racing yesterday as the weather deteriorated into much better weather today. So as the flags fly, as the wind blows, our riders make their way backstage as we prepare for the medal ceremonies for under-23 women's competition. Crowded to get the chance, we're going to be grabbing themselves some Fritz and mayonnaise and maybe a beer from the beer tent to celebrate the win. But you can see just how packed it is. It's absolutely heaving on site. A complete and utter sellout, and some amazing racing in what is a great course, and a very dry and very fast course, producing maybe different racing to what we were expecting earlier on in the week, and certainly earlier on in the season. The back end of the season proving very dry indeed, whether that was the Besançon at the World Cup last week, compared on the week before, or here at Hoogerheide for the World Championships. So the presentation party being ready, the riders are being checked and ready for presenting to the public. And the party made their way up on to stage, and some very proud teammates here at the side of the course. Teammates of Christina Semenova, the bronze medalist. They're about to receive their medals, or to receive their rewards, and the applause from the crowd will be ringing out.
Award ceremony of the 2023 UCI Cyclo-cross World Championships in the Women Under 23 category.
De officiële prijzentrekking van de wereldkampioenschappen veldrijden 2023 in de categorie voor de belofte vrouwen.
During this ceremony, the medals and the rainbow jersey will be presented by Mrs. Agatha Lang, UCI Management Committee member.
De trui en de medailles worden zometeen uitgereikt door mevrouw Agatha Lang namens het managementcomité van de UCI.
Afterwards, the flowers will be presented by Mr. Stijn Smulders, Deputy of Sports of the province of Noord-Brabant.
Stijn Smulders, gedeputeerde sport van de provincie Noord-Brabant, heeft straks de eer om de bloemen uit te reiken aan de top 3 hier op het podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, in third place and winner of the bronze medal representing the Czech Republic.
Dames en heren, op de derde plaats en de winnares van de bronzen medaille uit de Republiek Tsjechië, Christina Semenova. En ze krijgt die bronzen medailles uitgereikt door mevrouw Agatha Lang, managementcomité van de UCI.
In second place, winner of the silver medal representing Great Britain.
De tweede plaats met de zilveren medaille uit Groot-Brittannië, Zoe Bakstedt.
Also this silver medal presented by Mrs. Agatha Lang, our UCI Management Committee member. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in first place, our new UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal representing the Netherlands.
Dames en heren, en nu op de eerste plaats de nieuwe wereldkampioen bij de belofte vrouwen uit Nederland, Shirin van Amrooy.
Voor de tweede keer ooit in haar carrière krijgt ze de regenboogtrui aangereikt. Zij schreef geschiedenis in Dubendorf een paar jaar terug toen ze de eerste wereldkampioene bij de vrouwenjunioren werd. En nu een paar jaar later in eigen land. Op haar verjaardag nota bene is dit het moment waarop ze bekroond wordt tot wereldkampioene bij de vrouwenbelofte.
Ja, het eerste cadeautje dat ze krijgt is de regenboogtrui opgehangen door mevrouw Agatha Lang namens het managementcomité van de UCI. En daarbij uiteraard ook de gouden medaille.
And now we have flowers coming up.
So Shirin van Amrooy taking that rainbow jersey at the second time of asking a silver medal last year, a gold medal this year. And of course that iconic jersey will be hers. She'll be wearing those rainbow bands on her sleeves, and no doubt partying hard in that jersey. And what a way to celebrate her birthday. She must have dreamed of this morning. When she woke up, well, it came to fruition with an absolutely faultless ride, and the Netherlands taking away the win.
En dames en heren, mag ik dan nu uw aandacht vragen voor ons nationale volkslied, het Wilhelmus. Hoogerheide, laten we horen voor Christina Semenova, Zoe Louis Bakstedt en de nieuwe wereldkampioen.
So your top 3 riders here today at the UCI 2023 Cyclo-cross World Championships here at Hoogerheide in the Netherlands, with Christina Zemanova taking away the bronze medal, Zoe Bakstedt taking the silver medal, the world champion taking the gold medal, and wearing the rainbow jersey, Shirin van Anrooy of the Netherlands coming out on top and living up to all of the expectations of the home nation and beyond here in Hoogerheide. Great riding by her. A whole kitchen sink and more being thrown at her, I think, by Zoe Bakstedt in her pursuit, trying to keep that gap down, trying not to let her go too far, but pretty much an unstoppable force today, Shirin van Anrooy. Great to see Christina Zemanova there in the third place, and a great result there for the Czech Republic. Great to see there, a long history of great cross riders and exciting cross riders as well. So time for media duties to begin, kicking off of course with the traditional signing of that rainbow jersey. So we've had great action, some amazing action, and we've seen a very, very fast course at play in the racing so far. Here we have one more race to go, and this is going to be our elite men's. I hope you'll come back to join me then. From me, Matt Payne, and from all the team here, we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.